So this Frostgrave stuff, what's the buzz about? We've been hearing a lot about it. We're going to take a look and we're going to show you all the nice and fiddly bits and the unfiddly rules. So there's been a lot of buzz on the internet lately about a newish game, Frostgrave, by Mr. Joseph A. McCullough and Oprey Publishing. It's a 28mm fantasy skirmish game where the setting takes place in the ruined city of Felstad, now known as Frostgrave. It's really not known, apart from it being a cataclysmic event, or it's not known what triggered the cataclysmic event that, well, led to the city's poor state.
But there is a rumor that someone rolled too many sixes. Anywho, we will take you through the contents of the book, starting with the Wizards and Warbands in Chapter 1. Then we are going to take a look at playing the game. We are going to take a look at the campaign setting. There is a complete campaign setting in the game. There is also a lot of spells.
There's like 80 different spells.
80 different spells. And yeah, there will be more when they release the new expansion. Then you have Chapter 5, which is scenarios, which we will dig into a little bit later. And Chapter 6, the Bestiary. And in the back of the book you have a list of all the spells. And a wizard sheet that you can copy and use for your own pleasure.
Yeah.
Oh, that was wrong.
Yeah, we'll cut that out.
No, we won't.
Okay.
There are also on the Oprey website wizard sheets and spell cards to download, also an errata and frequently asked questions. So make sure you check that out. Link in the description.
And Mr. Joseph McCullough, or Osprey Joe, is quite frequent in the Frostgrave group on Facebook and answering questions quite often and promptly, and well, helping us getting things set straight.
Yeah, and we like that.
Yeah, we like that.
So, did we talk about the 28mm game?
Yeah, I mean, initially, if you buy the game or the starter pack, you can get official models from North Star Miniatures. But any 28mm fantasy figures will do, whether you have Dungeons and Dragons, Warhammer Fantasy, or any other kind of game. And you can use pretty much any size you want, but 28mm is the standard.
Yeah.
As you saw from the table, when we panned over it in the beginning, it's pretty cluttered with terrain, and it's highly recommended that you have a lot of it.
A lot of clutter?
A lot of clutter and terrain. As you saw the table when we panned over it in the beginning, it's recommended that we have a lot of terrain, because open ground in this game is deadly ground. The game is played usually on a 3x3 space, but we've done it 3x4 because most gaming tables are 4 feet wide, so it's slightly larger than it's supposed to be, but we found that it works for us. But of course you are free to use whatever size you want to.
So Chapter 1, Wizards and Warbands. This section of course tells you how to create your wizard and put together a band of soldiers to go adventuring in Frostgrave, to meet an early death or find a lot of treasure.
And experience.
Experience, and that's a very cool part of the game. Yeah. This actually lets you level up.
Yeah, it's only the wizard and apprentice that levels in this game. Many of you are probably familiar with the old Games Workshop game Mordheim, which is very similar to this, but a lot more fiddly, where you have several models that all level up differently. But here it's a lot more streamlined, easier to get into, faster, and as I said, only the wizard and apprentice levels.
Yes. So you got 10 schools of magic to choose from.
Speaking of wizards, there's, like you said, 10 different kinds, and they all have spells that pretty much, well, the class that you choose pretty much tells you what kind of spells is available. The 10 different are Chronomancer, which has, for instance, Fast Act or Time Walk, an enchanter that can enchant weapons, enchant armor, stuff like that. Necromancer, Bone Dart, Raise Dead. Svein likes
zombies.
Yes. Soothsayer, awareness, forget spell, mind control, that kind of stuff. A Thaumaturge, pretty much a healer. He has heal, miraculous cure, restore life, shield. Elementalist, the guy who throws lightning bolts and fireballs
That's me.
Pretty much messes up your day. Illusionists, makes you see things that's not there. Yep, it's the color blue. Sigilists, he can create grimoires. Basically, he does funky stuff that gets him more XP. Has a pen that's really angry and irritates the opponent. Furious Quill. Summoner, Bind Demon, Imps, Summon Demon. Ooh, that's me. Summon Damon. And lastly, we have Witch. Animal Companion can be summoned, control animal, curse, and poison darts that, well...
Typical witch stuff.
Yeah. That's the 10 different variations. All in all, when you start the game, you have 8 different spells. You have 3 from your chosen class. You have 2 spells. 3 spells. 1 for each of your aligned.
Did you put your finger there?
Yes, I put my finger there.
With a band-aid on it?
Yeah. You have 1 spell from each of your aligned classes.
Yes.
And you have 2 spells to choose from your 4. It is 4, isn't it? 5 neutral classes. You cannot start with an opposed spell, but you can, as you level up, I think, as far as we can understand, choose an opposed spell, but you are at a +6 to cast those spells.
Yeah, but that will be later.
Yes.
And what Damon said right now, you can see the +2 and +4 and +6. When you have, let's say you are a Chronomancer, all Chronomancer spells, or rather the 3 that you choose to start with, can be cast at the spell's casting value. Take, for example, this spell that is called Decay. It will require a roll of a 12 or higher on a d20. If, however, I want to cast a spell that is in the aligned part, it's a +2 to the casting value, and neutral is +4.
An additional modifier is also given to the apprentice.
Yes.
The apprentice knows the exact same spells as the wizard, but he has an additional -2 modifier to cast those spells because he's an amateur.
Yeah.
So more likely to blow himself up.
So Decay that I show you first,
He would need that one.
Would be a 14.
14 to cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So choose your spells.
Choose your spine carefully.
Spells wisely.
Yes. That was
the wizards.
Wizards, an apprentice. So let's move on forward and take a look at the Warband.
Did we say anything about that you start with 500 pieces of gold?
Making the Warband. The wizard is free, and you have 500 pieces of gold to purchase apprentice and or other minions, or henchmen as they're called in the book.
Yeah, the apprentice costs 200.
Yeah, but he's not mandatory, but he is recommended due to both you have an extra caster, and whatever he does can affect the bonus XP of your wizard. And when the wizard levels, the apprentice levels.
Yes. So we like level up.
We like level up.
Yeah. So that leaves 300 points to buy, or 300 gold pieces to buy soldiers, and we will take a look at them now. So this is the soldiers or henchmen of the Warband, which is the expendables. Well, because you don't really want to lose your wizard and apprentice because they're expensive to replace. Yes.
We have warhounds, we have thugs and thieves, archers, crossbowman, infantryman, tracker, man-at-arms, treasure hunter, knight, templar, ranger, barbarian, apothecary, and marksman.
There will probably be more.
All of them come with different gear to begin with, different stat line. We can take a look at one of those. If you look at the marksman at the bottom, you can see a move of 5, a fight of +2, a shoot of +3, armor of 12, will of 1, health of 12, and he costs 100 gold coins. That's the most expensive soldier, or one of the most expensive. There are others that cost 100 gold coins. And it goes as low to 10 gold coins for one of these bad boys. And of course the points also pretty much reflects how effective they can be in combat. These guys don't level up. They can, however, be given some magical items if you acquire them through a campaign, and get a couple of different, or several different items actually. But there is a limit to how many they can carry. Yes. Wizards and apprentices can carry, I think it's 5 and 4 respectively.
And the soldiers have 1, I think.
Yeah, standard equipment plus 1. Yeah. And of course, when you're done playing, if you're playing a campaign, they can acquire some injuries that will affect them later on, which is kind of cool, because you can actually have a warband that's done something instead of being fresh on the battleground.
That's true.
So yeah, that was the henchmen and soldiers and selection, and this is pretty much all the stuff that you need to assemble your warband. Now that we're done with that, we're going to take a look at how we're going to be playing the game.
Okay, so chapter 2, playing the game. We're just going to take you through the basics. First of all, you need to know that there is a turn, of course.
There's a turn?
There's a turn. And first we roll off to see who has the initiative. Then there are 4 phases that you go through. The first one is the wizard phase, where the wizard can activate, and then he may also use something called a group activation to activate up to 3 friendly soldiers within 3 inches of the wizard when they begin the phase. When your wizard has done his stuff, his magic, then the phase passes over to the opposing player that does the same, activates his wizard and his soldiers. And then it goes down to the apprentice, which can also activate up to 3 soldiers within 3 inches, over to your opponent. And if you have any soldiers remaining that haven't done anything, they will all be activated in the soldier phase, and over to your opponent again. And occasionally, according to scenario or how you want to play it, there will be something called a creature phase, where you activate all creatures on the table.
And speaking of activating, all your soldiers have 2 actions initially. They can use both actions in a turn. One of them must be a movement, or you can substitute movement for doing something else if the model special rules says that you can.
Yeah, for example, a crossbow man can.
He can reload instead of move, because it requires an action to put his dart in the crossbow and shoot. The second action is either cast a spell, shoot your weapon, hit, or you can do a double move. Yes. Which the rulebook explains more thoroughly how happens. We don't want to tell you all the goodies, so you're going to have to buy the book and find out some of the stuff for yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the rough and nit and gritty of the movement and activation. Yeah. And we'll now be back with
your hand.
My hand. It's effectively away. Campaign playing.
Yes. But should we take a look at the sample warband we set up here?
Yeah. We
have the wizard in front.
I'm guessing Elementalist and Thaumaturge.
Probably.
Or something.
And behind them is the apprentice. And then you have a selection of 3 soldiers. And these make up 5 units. Yeah. So if you remember, the wizard is 3, the apprentice is 200. That means you can spend up to 300 points on soldiers.
The lowest amount of models you are able to make if you follow the standard rules is a warband of 5. He's 3, he's 200. Then you can have 3 soldiers that cost 100 each, and you can also have 3 of the same type.
Yes.
Because there's no limit to how many archers or dogs you want, so you can also have 30 dogs. No, you can't.
No, you can't.
No, you can't have 30 dogs, because there's a maximum of 9 models, 10 including the wizard. This can be expanded during a campaign if you choose to include some items or structures that you can buy for your warband. But a maximum of 10 models initially, But within
so what you're saying is that you can make a home base.
You can make a home base. That is cool.
Yes.
But initially, there's a maximum of 10, but you can have 10 of the same type if you want to, or 9, that is, because you have to have the wizard.
8 actually, because
you
the apprentice...
you don't have to have him.
No, but I think it said in the rules it was...
highly recommended.
8 soldiers plus the apprentice.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe we should mention one of the main things about the game is actually that you're fighting over treasure.
Yes, the scenarios are pretty much based on capturing treasure, taking treasure, getting richer, and getting away with it from your opponent or the creatures inhabiting Felstad or Frostgrave, trying to hunt you down.
Yes, because these treasure chests, they will give you stuff when the game ends.
Yes. Oh, and also we forgot the most important bit. D20. No D6s, we roll D20s in this game. Some of us naturally rolls 18, 19 and 20 all the time. And some of us don't. We can't get away from that no matter what we do.
Nope.
D20s all the way, regardless of what you do. There's no other dice indicated anywhere in the book. And, well, at least not for the actual gameplay. So you need at least one of these to be able to play.
Yeah, and most of us have that.
Yeah, at least if you're nerdy like us.
So let's take a look at the campaign.
Yes.
So one of the cool things about Frostgrave is that you can actually run a campaign in this setting. So you need to take care of your wizard and your apprentice, as we have mentioned, because they are expensive to replace, and of course if they have leveled a couple of times they will have gotten better, and you do not want to start from scratch. So in this section of the book you actually get the rules for leveling up, how to get experience, how to upgrade your base, as we have mentioned. There are different kinds of tables you can roll on to see what happens if they are reduced to 0 hit points. So if your wizard or apprentice gets a permanent injury, for example, you can roll on the permanent injury table and maybe you can crush an arm or lose a finger or stuff like that. So it's quite cool. You have some rules for all of these situations. Then you have, of course, the experience and what gains or what will get you experience. Casting spells and killing enemies and stuff like that. Your normal RPG stuff. And then you can also have improvement of stats, improvement of spells, learning new spells, all the things that we know and love. And like I said, if you get these treasure chests off the book, off the table, then you can roll on this table to see what you actually get. So it's all good. You can find potions, you can find scrolls, there are grimoires where you can learn new spells. Magic weapons and armor is available, magic items are available, and they are also explained, as you can see. So these can enhance your wizard or apprentice, and you can buy new soldiers, you can buy new apprentice, buying spell books, magic items, and then the cool stuff, establishing a base. Where you do it will have an effect, as Damon talked about. You have resources. So this is a good way to expand your game if you want to really have a nice and long campaign. Okay, so the next chapter is about spells. So like we already have discussed, there are 10 classes of wizard or 10 schools of magic. And your apprentice knows the same kinds of spells that you do. You will start the game with 8 spells, 3 from the one school that you have elected to be or be from. Then you have 3 that you can choose from aligned schools. And then you have 2 from 5 neutral schools, so you can choose 2 out of 5. And that brings you up to 8. opposed schools are not allowed to choose from, at least when you start the game off. So in this section there is all the spells listed, what they do. There can also be cast spells out of game, for example when you are at your base or stuff like that, that can improve you or call demons or stuff like that, that you can bring with you into the game when that starts. So it's a big section about all the different spells, what they do. It's also repeated in the back of the book that you can photocopy and cut out if you want. I have laminated all the spells and cut them out so that they are a little bit easier to have at hand. But it was a big job to do that. So those are the spells. A lot of offensive, defensive, augmenting, a lot of different. And then you got some optional rules in the spell section also. Then we are over to chapter 5 and scenarios. So there is a total of 10 scenarios in the book, and there will of course be more when they release the expansion Toll of the Lich Lord. But in the book, like I said, there are 10 scenarios, and this is what me and Damon are going to start with now. Then, now that we start our campaign, we will start playing one of these, and then we will continue playing the others, but they will of course have an effect on each other, because what we manage to do and the experience we gain will of course help us in the next games. So 10 scenarios rolled on the table, then you get a nice easy explanation of how to set it up. It's not many pages for each scenario, it's mostly just one page for each scenario. So in the bestiary you can either include the optional rule of random encounters, or you can even make your own scenarios making use of the beasts inside this tome of knowledge. So I'm just going to show you a few of the things that are available here. You got skeletons, zombies, ghouls, bears, rats, spiders, snow leopards, wolves, constructs, imp, ice toad, snow troll, snow leopard. There's a lot of stuff here. Wraith, ghouls, things that I like a lot. Demons, werewolves. So all of these are represented in the book, and you can find their stat lines and you can use them, like I said, even make your own scenarios with them, or have it as a random encounter. So those are the basic chapters of the book, and in the end you will find a list of all the spells that are available, the 10 schools that you can photocopy and then cut out, laminate, or what you want to do.
Some additional info on spells is that when you start out, you of course have the 8 spells, but you can get more spells as you level. But you can also empower spells, making them easier to cast, or you can also empower them as you cast them. When we start the game, a wizard can slice himself for some extra blood power, and say you choose to lose 5 life, you can increase the casting value of your dice by 5 to make a spell succeed.
Yeah, or make it harder for the opponent
to resist.
Yes.
With a will save.
Yes.
Other than that, relevant information that you need, well, you should know, is there are background information if you want to know the lore behind Frostgrave and Felstad. One of them is Thor the Leech Lord. I've been seeing on Facebook that some people has been getting this, so I'm assuming it's out. If not, it will be out by November, or November's end anyway. It's a campaign book, but I'm guessing we will find more background information and the author's thoughts around Frostgrave. Don't you think?
Probably is building upon that.
Yeah.
And we know from inside information that there are lots of books planned if you people will buy the game.
Yes, so you need to buy the game. Oh, good you mentioned that. Warlord Games. They are selling, for those of you who are faithful buyers from Warlord Games, are selling the book. No supplements yet, but they are selling the book from their web store, so you can go check that out. Not sure yet if there will be anything else. If there is, I'll get back to you with that. And I think that really sums up everything. So we're done with this now, and now we're going to be playing our first ever official tabletop battle game.
Official start of our campaign.